This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Amber Betts.
Hey there, this is Amber Betts with the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver, and today we're really excited to be here with Emilie of Gleam Car Wash. Hey, Emilie, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Amber. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for being here. So tell us about Gleam and the car wash and what you guys offer and what you do.
Okay. Well, Gleam is locally owned, woman-owned. I own it. Obviously, there are also investors involved, but I run it. Gleam is 8 years old, and I developed it. I built it, and now I run it. We have about 40 employees, all of whom live locally. 20% of our staff is neurodiverse. Typically, that means they're on the autism spectrum, but we have a couple of other diagnoses as well. We're also the greenest car wash in Denver and possibly in the country. We have 43 kilowatts of solar. We're basically a mini water treatment plant. So we do our best to be good to the planet and while cleaning a really good car.
Love it. That's awesome. So tell the listeners, Emilie, like kind of your background, backstory, kind of how you got into the business.
By accident, actually. I spent about 15 years in commercial real estate development, so building high rises in different cities, including Denver. And I actually hit a glass ceiling, which it was shocking and frankly pretty demoralizing. So I started my own development company, Turnbuckle Development, and my first big bricks and mortar project was this car wash, which I opened with a colleague who was supposed to run it, but he was not running it very well. So now I run it. So it's been a very eventful decade, really.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Yes, it is kind of amazing, actually. So now I am a car washer.
Okay. So tell the listeners, I mean, you mentioned the, environmentally friendly aspect of the business, but why else do your customers, keep coming back? What sets you apart? That kind of thing.
Well, hopefully they keep coming back because we clean a really good car. We take better care of our tunnel than anyone else in town, in our own estimation.
Yeah.
We're really good to our customers. We try very, very hard to provide excellent customer service, which I will say the caveat to that is that's tough in car washing, and car washing is not the same as a restaurant.
Yeah.
So the adage that the customer is always right cannot possibly be true in car washing. So we do our very best. But yeah, we put out a great car. We have a really active, probably the best detail shop in town. We've got videos. We're very transparent on our pricing. And then we have a membership program, which is also not unique to us. Most car washes at this point do, but it delivers tremendous value to the customer. And then they also get discounts on details. And really, people love having a clean car. Like, it's one of those things where if you don't have it and you don't think about it and then you get it, you think, oh my gosh, how is I living without this? And people get their houses cleaned, or they spend a lot of time themselves cleaning their houses. Well, a car is almost as important, since most of us spend a lot of time in our car, whether we're commuting to work or we're schlepping kids to soccer or whatever the case may be. And hey, we salute people who don't have cars, but if you have a car, we think you should bring it to Gleam, where we've got great people and a great product.
Love it. So tell us about any news, specials, updates, anything currently happening.
So every month Gleam has a detail special. And so upcoming are specials on headlights, which most people don't realize they can get occluded, and then your car isn't as safe to drive at night because you don't have the light that you need to actually see. So in November and December, we always have a headlight special because it's seasonal. That's when you're going to be driving at night. We opened a second car wash. This is bigger news than the headlight special. So our second location is in Aurora, which is not convenient to Northwest Denver, but it's been big news for us.
Sure.
Otherwise, we are just chugging along. We continue to reinvest in the people and the business so that we can keep putting out the best car in Denver.
Got it. So I know you guys are super active in the community. Tell us about that and what you do to get involved.
So we love our community. Like we're born from the community. Like, the idea of a car wash came up because my neighbor suggested that, or was complaining that he didn't have a place to wash his car. I'm a biker, so that hadn't really caught my attention quite yet. But we aim to do one fundraiser a month, depending on demand, for hyperlocal nonprofits. So typically that's schools, that's preschools. Bienvenidos is a partner. We've had, and then we'll have multiple fundraisers. So we'll do a fundraiser for North Cheer and then the football team. So we probably giveaway / help raise somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 a year, all for nonprofits that are really, really like nestled into the community. We also do a lot of donations throughout Denver in terms of donating details. So that's a higher ticket price point, usually $79 to $265. So we do try to help other nonprofits that aren't as hyper local, but are still local, raise money for their cause.
Love that. That's amazing. So, Emilie, I'm sure you stay busy with your business like most of the people I talk to on this podcast, but what are we doing for fun? What do you do outside of work?
Oh my gosh. I mostly work. I have 7-year-old twins. I have a little boy and a little girl.
Oh my gosh.
So between the twins and the twin businesses, there's not a lot of downtime anymore. When I can, I bike. I was an avid road biker. And so I like to do that. I'm an adult learner for skiing. So my kids are already much better than I am, but I try. And I do like to hike, but really my focus right now is feeding children and making sure that they stay alive and running the car wash.
Awesome. All right. Well, that about wraps it up, Emilie. Tell the listeners the locations, your website, your best ways to get a hold of you, socials, that kind of stuff.
Cool. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We obviously have a website. It's a very good website, gleamcarwash.com. That's GLEAM. We are on 38th and Wolf. So we take up that block between 38th on the north side of the street, between 38th and Xavier. That's our first. You can't miss it. It's right across from Sprouts. Yep. That's our flagship. The other one is way out past 225. It's near the Ann Schutz Children's Hospital Complex on East Colfax. But it's also, it's not anywhere near the Highlands, but that's where the second one is. So yeah, we're pretty easy to find. And then if people have questions, they can always email us at info@gleamcarwash.com. I see all of those. I don't always answer every single one, but collectively the team does address all of them, but I do see them all. So those are your options.
Awesome. All right, dear. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Thank you for having me. This is so lovely that you do this.
Yeah. So have a good rest of your day. And thanks to the listeners out there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com or call 720-295-9588.